Welcome to my channel, Ana Lana. Today I want to share with you this beautiful sweater. I tell you, when you finish it, it's going to be amazing. The only thing is, it takes a little bit of time. So remember, in YouTube, you find me as Ana for Lana. Okay, let's begin. We are going to need super fine yarn, which is the number one. Also, we are going to be using needles that are going to be a little bit bigger than the recommended one. This is for the size small to medium, so I use 192 grams, knitting needles of 3.75, number 5 in the US, a crochet hook of 2.75 millimeters, tapestry needle, and of course, buttons. So sometimes it's hard to specify how small or medium a sweater is, so I'm leaving here the measurements of my actual sweater so you can compare to one of yours. So from the top of the shoulder until the end of the sweater, I have 21 inches, which is 53 centimeters. From side to side, I have 19 and a half inches, which is 50 centimeters, and the length of the sleeve is 17 and a half inches, which is 44 centimeters. So compared to one of yours, then you will see if this will fit, or you should just add more stitches and make it wider. And feel free to write me a message and I will be answering as soon as I can to help you out. So again, remember to give me a like and subscribe. Okay, let's start with the back, which is going to be just a rectangle. And And if you are going to be using the super fine yarn, these are the suggested number of points to make each size. So in this case, we are going to be using 106 points. Okay, we already have 106 points, and row number one is going to be all knit. So we pass the first one, and then we are going to continue knitting. Okay, this is the end of my row number one. So I'm knitting here, but the very last one I'm going to purl. And now I'm going just to turn the work, and I'm going to start with row number two. So again, as usual, the first one we are going just to pass it, and the other ones we are going to purl, making them in the wrong side. So we are here at the end of row number two, and the last one we are just going to knit it. So turn the work, and now the row number three, the first one, we are going just to slip, pass it to the other side, and then we'll continue knitting. And this is the way that we will be doing the jersey stitch. And then we will continue doing this for 8 rows in total. And now we are done and we see this. So we are going to start row number one, and this is the way that we will start the design. Slip the first one, knit the second one, yarn over, and then the next two stitches, just knit them together, yarn over, and then knit the next two stitches together, yarn over, and knit the next two together, and continue like that through the whole row. At the very end, if you have 2 or 3 loops, you are just going to be knitting them one by one. So this is the way that the first row is going to look like. So now we turn the work, and just to complete the design, so you see we are now facing the wrong side. We were supposed to be purling, but instead we are going to slip the first stitch, and instead of doing purl, we are going to knit. So remember, you have to be in the wrong side, and we are going to be knitting. And we will be continuing like that, stitch by stitch. And here it goes in this space. We are going to be knitting here, so it will look like more spacey. Okay, so we just finished knitting on the wrong side, and now when we turn the work, that knitting looks like a raised stitch. So it's very nice. So remember, we are looking now at the right side, and just to continue and to make it even look better, we are going just to slip this first stitch, and now we are going to start knitting. We are going to continue knitting because this is the right side, but that way the raised stitch is going to be really remarkable. And as we are knitting, you can see more the contrast of the prior row. So we are going to continue knitting and doing the jersey stitch for another 8 rows, and then we will be repeating the design. Okay, so we already knit 15 groups, which is 48 centimeters, 19 inches. So each group is composed by 8 rows in the jersey stitch, and then 2 more rows for the design. So with this, we are going to be, so here we are going to start closing the back. So we slip the first stitch, then knit, then pass the first one over the second one. Again, knit and pass the first one over the second one. And in this way, we are going to continue closing point by point, stitch by stitch. So when you start closing the stitches, this is how it will look. Okay, so now I already finished with the 106 points. Let me just cut this yarn, and we are going to be looking at this. So we have here a rectangle, and let me measure it. So we have, from side to side, we have about 19.5 inches, which is about 56 centimeters. And for the length, we have around 18 inches and a half. I just want to clarify that we don't need to block this sweater, because once we put the elastic band, we will make it a little bit longer. Also, gravity will start pulling the sweater down. So believe me, it's going to look much longer and it's going to be very nice. And now we are going to continue with the front part. We are going to start with the left side. We are going to cast 52 points and then knit the same way that we did the back. 8 rows in the jersey stitch and then 2 rows with the design. So I'm going to repeat. Row number 1, we are going to knit all the stitches. Then row number 2, we are going to purl. And then we are going to repeat row number 1 and 2 until we get 8 rows, and that will be the jersey stitch. So we finish the 8 rows, and now we are going to work in row number 9, which will be the design. So first stitch, we slip. Now we are going to be knitting the second stitch, yarn over, and then we are going to take the next 2 points and knit them together. So again, yarn over and knit the next 2 points together, and we will continue doing that through the whole row. So now turn the work and we'll start with row number 2. Pass the first one, and we are going to be knitting this. Remember, we are on the wrong side and we will be knitting. Finishing row number 2, we turn the work, and now we are in the right side and we will be knitting. And then continue working in the groups like we did in the back. So now I already knit 11 groups, so I'm putting the front side against the back. So far I need to knit another 5 inches, which is about 12 centimeters, but I'm going to stop here for the moment because I want to start forming the neck. This is the curve that I'm going to start forming, so I will be closing 15 points. So let's put a marker here in the number 15 so we know where to stop. Okay, we are going to turn the work and start closing 15 stitches. So as usual, we pass the first one, we knit the second one, then pass the first one over the second. Knit, pass the first one over the second. And we'll continue like that until we get to the marker. Okay, so we already closed the 15 points and you see it looks very nice. So now let me just put it over the back so we just can see how is this working. So this is the left panel and you see it's going to be matching here. Now we are going to continue working 4 more groups just to get to the shoulder. And we will continue the row in a normal way. We'll continue purling and then we will do the knitting until we get to the next design. And so I already got 4 more sections. I finished row number 7 and this is row number 8, which I'll be closing in the usual way. And then continue with the right front panel. And we are going to be knitting 11 groups and we are going to put the 2 parts together facing each other so we know that we are going to be closing the right side. So remember, both sides, they have to be facing each other on the right side. So here in the center, we are going to start closing 15 points and that way we are going to start forming the neck. And when we close the 15 points, we are going to continue knitting through the whole row. Okay, so I finished my 4th section and I'm comparing both panels and they look very symmetric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. So now we are going to be closing this shoulder. Okay, so we have 3 parts of the sweater. We are going to start joining the shoulders. Make sure that you have the right side against the right side of the knitting. We are going to start sewing in the shoulders and we are going to be using a tapestry needle and we are going to start stitching point by point. Okay, so we already joined the shoulders and this is the only part that we are putting together for the moment. We are going to start working on the sleeves and now we are going to count 6 groups and at the end of the 6th group, I'm going to put a marker. That's around 8 inches or 20.5 centimeters. So we are going to make a slip stitch and now we are going to pull the yarn through this first space next to the marker. So now I'm going to pull the yarn in the next point, yarn over, and then the next space, pull the yarn, and again in the next space, pull the yarn, and now yarn over. Again, pull the yarn in one, pull the yarn in the space number two, and then yarn over. Pull the yarn, space one, pull the yarn, space two, and yarn over. And we are going to continue like this until the top of the shoulder. So basically we are incrementing one stitch every two stitches. Okay, so I'm already at the top of the shoulder and I can count 46 points from the beginning of the sleeve to the top of the shoulder. And we are going to continue doing the same thing towards the other side. So I'll be having another 46 points, so a total of 92 points for the sleeve. I have problems pulling the yarn, so I have to use a crochet hook. So go ahead and do the same thing, and that way it will be easier to pull the yarn through the narrow spaces. Okay, so now we have a total of 92 points. And just remember when you are just doing that very first row, always do it on the right side. That way, this kind of union will show in the wrong side, inside the sweater, so no problem. Okay, so we will continue knitting now 8 rows and then doing 2 rows for the design. So it will be the same pattern that we use for the rest of the sweater. Once we get 11 groups, we are going to stop. This is 38 centimeters, 15 inches. So let's go and close the stitches. Okay, we finished the sleeves and now we are going to be closing all the sweater on the sides. Um, just make sure that the design is going to be parallel, so it will show the continuity. Okay, so now here it goes. We close everything, and now I just want to have a quick measurement from the top of the shoulder till the bottom of the sweater. Let's see. So right now I have 18 inches, which is 46 centimeters. And remember that after this, we are going to be making elastic band, so it's going to be a little longer. Still, the sweater is going to be over the hips. Okay, so now we are going to be doing the elastic band at the bottom of the sweater. So this is a crochet hook of 2.75 millimeters. It's a thin crochet hook. Now we start pulling and chain one, and then we are going to make a total of 16 chains. I just finished with 16 chains and now I turn, and in the little belly I'm going to make a single crochet and I'm going to go down making single crochets until I have 15 in total. Okay, so I will have now 15 single crochets. This is my last one. All right, so now I'm going to attach this to the base, and on this first space I'm going to make a slip stitch, and then on the next space another slip stitch, because this is the one that is going to help me going up. So I turn the work, and now I will look for the outside loop and then make a single crochet, and I will continue knitting single crochets on each space. And now in this last stitch, I'm not going to use the outside loop. I will put the hook through the whole point, you see? So I will have 2 loops in there, and then make a single crochet and then a chain. That way it won't open at the end. And now I will go down again using the outside loop and making a single crochet in each outside loop. And now I am at the bottom again, and I will make a slip stitch to attach it. And then the next space, another slip stitch, and then I will turn the work and continue. And finally, I have here the complete elastic band. It took time, a lot of patience, but it's worth it. So now I'm going to start working on the collar or the neck of the sweater, and I'm going to be using a crochet hook of 2.75. So I'm going to make a slip knot, and then I'm going to pull the yarn here in the corner in the first space, and I'm going to make a chain using both strands so it will be stronger. And now I'm going just to yarn over, and then in the same space I'm going to make a double crochet, and I'm going to continue making a double crochet in each space. So I'm going to hide this strand, just putting it here under, and make a double crochet, and in the next space another double crochet. So now we are getting close to the corner here, the curve, which is a question that I always have about how to knit the corner. So let me just show you. We are here very close. We have this space here, but we are not going to put the hook through that because it's going to make it bigger. So we just go under a little bit and pull the yarn, but don't close it. Then on the space, pull the yarn again, don't close it. And then next to the space, after the space, pull the yarn again. And now we are going to be closing these 3 points. Just leave 2 loops and then close it. So basically you have like a 3 double crochets, right? Just to make sure that the corner gets closed and is not going to be showing space. Um, I'm going to show you how we are going to do the next corner, and then you will be a professional making corners. You see, this is the way that it looks. Okay, so now we are getting here next to the other corner, which is the shoulder and the back, and I'm going to show you. You are going to be making a double crochet right in the middle in the joint, pull the yarn but don't close the point, and then in the next space, pull the yarn again, and now you can close the 2 double crochets together. Perfect. And you see, that way you will be narrowing that corner. And then continue doing double crochets in each space. And this is the way that it's looking. The curve is forming because we are kind of reducing 1 or 2 points in each corner. So I'm getting here at the end of my row number 1 with the last double crochets. So now I'm going to chain 2, turn the work, and we are going to start with row number 2. So yarn over, and in the next space make a double crochet, and in the next space another one. So in total you will have 3 double crochets because the first 2 chains count as a double crochet. Now yarn over, skip 1 space, and then make a double crochet, and here we will start with the design. So yarn over, and the space before we are going to skip it. So in the prior space we make a double crochet, don't close it, yarn over again, and in the same space another double crochet. Now we close them together. So you see we made a little puff. So let's repeat. Yarn over, we are going to skip 1, 2, in the second space make a double crochet, then yarn over, and in the space before we skip it and we go to the third one, and double crochet, don't close it, another double crochet, and then we close them together. And we are going to continue like that through the whole collar, making these little puffs. And this is the way that is going to be looking. So here I am in my last two spaces and I'm going to make one double crochet and in the next space another double crochet. So that's the way that we are going to end and begin each row. So two chains, and now we are going to continue with row number 3, and then we are going to be making a double crochet in the next space. And we begin with the next part of the design. So we look for the head of the design below of the little puff, and here we are going to make a double crochet. Now yarn over and we skip one space back, and in the next one we are going to make a double crochet with no closing and another double crochet, and we are going to be closing it together. So again, let's repeat. Yarn over, we find the head of the design below, and we are going to pull the yarn here and make a double crochet. Yarn over, and again we are going to skip the space behind and go to the third one and make a double crochet. Don't close it, and then another double crochet in the same space, and then we close them together. And we are going to continue making these little puffs to form the hearts, and we'll continue like that until the end of the row. And then for row number 4, we are going to have half double crochets. I didn't show it here, but I'm just telling you 4 instructions. So in summary, the collar has 4 rows. Number 1 is all double crochet. Number 2 and 3 is the design, and number 4 is half double crochets. So don't cut the yarn. We are going to continue with the bottom band using the same crochet hook. And it's going to be just going down, but we are going to be using these buttons, which are 1.5 centimeters in diameter or 5/8 of an inch. And before we start, I want to give a summary of how this band is going to be made. We are going to be knitting 2 identical bands in each side. It's a total of 6 rows. One row will be half double crochets, second row double crochets, third and fourth will be with the design of the puffs, and the 5 and 6 will be half double crochets. Okay, so let's begin. And we are going to continue with the same strand of yarn, and we are going to chain 1, yarn over, and in the first space I'm going to make a half double crochet. Yarn over, and in the next space another half double crochet, yarn over, and in the same space another half double crochet. So let's repeat. Next space, 1 half double crochet, and in the next space 2 half double crochets. Again, next space, 1 half double crochet, and in the following space 2 half double crochets. And here I'm getting next to the elastic band, and I'm going to make my last 2 half double crochets together, because now I'm going to continue just with 1 half double crochet into each space, because remember the elastic band was made in crochet as well, so it has the same density. No need to increase. The sweater was knitted with 2 needles, so we need to increase. Okay, so this is my last half double crochet. And now we are going to compare both sides. I just want to make sure that because I knitted this first row, it didn't shrink, because sometimes it gets like a little smaller when we start knitting. So here we have the same rows and it's parallel. Perfect. So I'm going to continue with 3 chains and turn the work. These first 3 chains count as a double crochet. And I'm going to continue making a double crochet in each space all throughout the row until the end, until I get to the neck. So now I'm here at the end of row number 2. So I am making my last double crochets, and here it is. This is my last one, and I'm going to chain 2 and turn the work, and I'm going to start with row number 3 where we are going to have the design. So in the next space, a double crochet, and then we are going to yarn over, skip one space, and in the next one, a double crochet. And now we are going to skip the space before, and we are going to use the prior one to make a double crochet. We don't close it. We go back and make another double crochet, and now we close the 2 double crochets together. Yarn over and skip one space, one double crochet, again yarn over, and we go backwards, skipping one space and then one double crochet. Don't close it, and we go into the same space and make another double crochet, and we are going to continue doing this through the whole row. And the next row will be the continuation of the puffs, just like we did it in the collar. I just didn't repeat it this time. I'm just finishing it with 2 double crochets in here. But the second row is very simple. It's just making a puff on top of each puff at the bottom. So now we are going to turn the work, and we are going to start with the 2 last rows. And we just made one chain, and now in the next space we are going to do a half double crochet, and we are going to continue doing half double crochets until the end of the row. I'm finishing with the last half double crochets of this row. Okay, so now I have both bands, and I just want to continue doing one extra row, but it's going to be all around, including the neck and then coming down. And I'm going to be using half double crochets just to make it a little bit firmer. So let's start. Yarn over, and in the next space, half double crochet, and then half double crochet in each space until I get to the other end of the sweater. Okay, so we are getting to our last part, the cuffs. I already made one, so let's work with the other sleeve. We are going to pull the yarn, and I'm going to make 2 chains. I use both strands just to make it more secure. Then yarn over, and I'm going to start making double crochets, leaving one space in between, or 2 spaces. But bottom line, I end up with 59 double crochets. However, it's not a precise science. You can make it 58 or 60. It doesn't matter that you don't get to my precise number, because then we are going to start knitting the cuff and we can adjust it. We are going to start making the elastic band. So here we are getting to the end of the circle, and we are going to make a slip stitch. So now I have, remember, 59 double crochets. Now I'm going to start making 20 chains. Now I have 20 chains, and I turn and I just look for that little belly, And I'm going to start making single crochets into each stitch here. And go ahead and go to the bottom, and you should be having 19 single crochets. So now I have my 19 single crochets, and I'm going to attach it to the base with a slip stitch. Then in the next space, I'm going to make a slip stitch just to go up. Turn the work, and I'm going to continue making single crochets but using the outside loop. And every now and then try it out, because if it's getting too wide, just remember to perhaps skip one space at the base. But continue trying it, because I did it like 3 times until I got the perfect size for me. So now we are going to join both sides, and I'm going to put the hook, the crochet hook, through the opposite side and pull the loop. And now I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to start joining stitch by stitch. So taking one loop from each side, one loop here and one loop there, and make a slip stitch. And I'm going to continue like that all the way down. Okay, my friends, we are now at the end of this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy it. And I know it takes time and it requires a lot of patience, but the result is incredible. So please try it. Remember to give me a like and subscribe. That way you will get notified on my next videos. So I hope to see you soon in my channel, Ana Lana. Thank you.